All right, so if I were to tell you living in the same city but in different parts of it can provide you two different types of lifestyle, would you believe me?
What? No way. That's crazy talk.
Heck way. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of living by the lake versus living by the interstate. And if you're making the wrong choice, it would cause you such frustration in life that you will probably be moving out of the state. So we are Chad and Aalia Scott, your Kenosha area realtors, here to bring you some awesome information about living by the lake and living by the interstate, and the positives and the negatives.
If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us by text or call at 262-331-1621, or grab any of our guides down here in the description of the video. Happy to help any way that we can.
We are helping families just like you every week, relocators, investors, sellers, buyers, it doesn't matter. Come to us, we will help you answer those questions. Okay.
Let's get into the video. So first you have lake life. Downtown Kenosha, you have the beautiful lake, which is right here behind us. You have the beautiful sandy beaches. You have the boats. You have the waves crashing behind you. You have
and walkability of the downtown area. So if you live downtown, you'll be able to go and visit those small businesses that actually is the backbone of Kenosha. Also, you have walkability of the beaches as well. So
historic downtown.
Historic downtown. If you're a history buff like me, love the history. This is where it all started.
Quieter streets. It's definitely quieter downtown than it is up by the interstate.
There's a lot of community events and festivals such as
peanut butter and jam.
And the Harbor Market, which is one of my favorites because a lot of vendors show up, all different types of vendors. So you have access to that.
We have the band shell that's downtown Kenosha, where they have all kinds of concerts all year long, not just during the summer and spring, but they have it in the wintertime. They put on concerts at the band shell.
That's where the peanut butter jam is.
Yep.
Also local coffee shops, just like the Buzz, my favorite.
Have Anna's on the Lake down here. We love Anna's on the Lake as well. We love everything local down here in downtown Kenosha.
Also parking. I mean, who doesn't love free parking? I don't mind free parking. Unlike Chicago and Milwaukee, you have to pay an arm and a leg just to park there, just for the day.
Parking in Chicago, Milwaukee is almost like a full paycheck. It's almost ridiculous how much you have to pay for parking in those bigger cities. So free parking in a town like Kenosha, you just can't beat it.
Exactly.
I love it.
But it depends on the weather, whether or not the snow parking is in place. That's the only downside of living by the lake. It's because you get that lake effect snow, so you get a lot more snow down here. But if you're just sitting in the house, then it's beautiful. If you're not, you're commuting, it's a little hindersome. And
from November to April, you gotta make sure that you're parked on the right side of the street too overnight, so you don't get that ticket or get your car towed as well. So make sure you're watching out for that when you're parked overnight.
Exactly. I rely on him to remind me. So we talked about a little bit about the lake life. Let's talk about the Interstate Life, which is the west of the Green Bay Road. It has fast access to I-94 for commuters going to Milwaukee and Chicago. We get a lot of people who want to commute because of our standard of living is a little cheaper than Milwaukee or Chicago. And if you really want to talk about what's the difference, check out our video about living in Kenosha versus living in one of those bigger cities. And we will
we'll link that in the cards up here.
Heck yeah. It's a newer subdivisions are coming up. A lot of bigger homes, less maintenance, just because of the fact that downtown by the lake has the historic, charming homes that require a little bit more elbow grease to maintain.
You have more modern layouts with these newer homes up by the interstate because they are newer built homes, typically built in 2000 and newer, whereas the downtown Kenosha homes are all built in the 1920s, 1930s, maybe even before as early as like the 1800s, even some of these houses. They're just all older, more historic homes, whereas the homes out close to the interstate are all built in the 2010s, 2015s, like Whitecap subdivision, Arbor Ridge subdivision. Those are all newer homes.
With the modern layouts as well.
So if you're looking for a newer home that doesn't need as much upkeep, as much elbow grease as Aalia said, then you definitely want to be out closer to the interstate for those newer homes.
One of the plus sides of living by I-94, is a mouthful, by the way, guys. There are a lot of shopping centers that are close by. However, you do need to be more car dependent in that area. Whereas the lakeside, you'll be able to access the businesses via just walking
or biking.
But there's a lot more like big box stores like Target and Festival Foods, and also restaurants are
Costco's big.
Costco and Sam's Club too, as well. Restaurants are popping up, but more towards the I-94 area. So that is one of the plus sides of living in or by the I-94 west of Green Bay Road.
Another big downside of living closer to the interstate is that there's just less character in the houses out there. The houses are they look a lot more alike, like they're cookie cutter houses. The subdivisions, the houses are all very similar. And if you don't like HOAs, a lot of those subdivisions are HOA subdivisions. So there are very strict rules that you have to abide by. Otherwise, they'll put liens against your house or fine you, send you tickets, and you have to pay those. Otherwise, they can put liens against your house.
It's crazy.
And even foreclose on your house later on down the road.
So we've talked about the lifestyle and the ability to go to the stores via the lakeside versus the I-94 side or the west side. It's like west side, east side. We're going to talk about the price difference and the inventory. So Chad, what about those?
So we kind of touched on this a little bit when we started the video. So lakefront, often, the houses are older, they're smaller, they're just not quite as big as the houses out by the interstate. Just because they were built back in the 1930s, 1920s, 1950s. People were smaller back then. They didn't want houses quite as big as they do now. So the houses are typically, 800 square feet to maybe 1,500 square feet at the biggest. Mm-hmm. You won't find too many houses that are 2,000 plus square feet unless they're like duplexes. So the houses are smaller.
Less likely to have an AC unit attached to or central AC. So if you're trying to keep an eye out of a home next to a lake, they're going to more than likely not have an AC unit attached or retrofitted into the house, unless you want to put that money into that structural change. You are going to find more heat or window units for AC.
And that's because the houses are closer to the lake, so you get that nice cool lake breeze. Like we have today, there's a nice cool lake breeze coming off the lake.
It's humid though.
Kind of a hot, humid day, but that breeze, when it does pick up, it does feel kind of nice and refreshing. So
believe me, my hair is very reacting to the humidity. Believe me, I've actually straightened it twice already. So we have actually had a couple of clients who are looking at the Carroll Beach area, which is near the lake. And unfortunately, a lot of the houses do require a lot of maintenance. They get scared away in that regards. Mm-hmm. So, but we do kind of highlight a lot of the positives and not just the negatives of living by the lake in different neighborhoods kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We also just had a client looking at the west of the I. The positive, one of the big positives is that west of the I or west of Green Bay Road, you get a lot more land. So you're not on top of that neighbor. Maybe you don't want that neighbor to be looking at you through the window, and it's a little creepy.
It is a little creepy.
However, so those are the two differences between the lake and the west side of Kenosha.
So also on the west side, there's more new builds and more options for like attached garages and basements. You'll find closer to the lake, there's a lot more detached garages. So if having an attached garage to your house is important to you, you're going to want to probably look west of Green Bay Road. That's where you find a lot more attached garages.
I definitely wanted an attached garage. I just like, especially the rain. Yeah. I hate rain. I think I melt if I'm stuck in the rain. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer attached or a detached garage drop it down in the comments and let us know. That would be kind of interesting what the poll looks like.
And as far as pricing goes, you'll find that houses priced closer to the downtown area are priced a little bit lower typically than houses priced west of Green Bay Road. Houses priced west of Green Bay Road are a little bit more expensive, typically priced in that $350,000 to $400,000 to even $500,000 price range. Whereas houses priced downtown area like Lincoln Park, Forest Park area are still around that $200,000 to maybe $350,000 price range.
The interstate area we're finding more families looking at those houses. Like Chad has mentioned, that those houses are bigger, a lot more spacious. So if you're looking to upsize in the next year or so, let us know and we can keep an eye out on those houses that are popping up. Every day there's a house in Whitecaps that are popping up perfect for family members.
Whitecaps or Arbor Ridge area, one of those communities, there's usually something popping up. So let's talk about which area is better for which type of lifestyle typically. So typically we're seeing a lot of people move closer to the lake that are retirees typically.
So downsizing.
Typically if you're getting closer to retirement, if you're downsizing your house, you do want that slower paced lifestyle. You're kind of slowing down. You just don't want all the hustle and bustle. You want that taking it easy, just kind of go with the flow kind of lifestyle. You're seeing a lot of people move closer to the lake because it's a lot more walkability. There's a lot more bike paths, walking trails, parks. So we're seeing a lot of people move closer to the lake that are retiring or getting closer to retiring. And then what about closer to the interstate, Aalia? What are the people moving closer to the interstate? What are we seeing?
More families who are trying to upsize, meaning that they need more room, they're having more kids, they just need access to the big box stores like Target and Costco, like we mentioned before, and the commuters who are needing that access for going to Milwaukee or going to Chicago. So we are looking more of those type of clients that are seeing at the west of the Green Bay Road.
And plus, typically we see that most families that have kids that are still in school, they typically like the schools that are closer to the interstate. Those are the schools that they typically like to be in, are closer to the interstate, those communities.
Those type of communities actually have neighborhood schools like Nash, Gruveno, Forest Park schools. The ability to walk their kids and pick them up is what mainly is the families are looking at. Especially if you're having more kids, you're going to look more for the schools rather than the area in general kind of thing. So, and if you want to talk about more schools and location, we'll drop that down in one of the cards, the video that we kind of went over about what really matters to you.
So here's a pro tip. Instead of looking at square footage, focus on your daily needs, not just price per square foot. Price per square foot changes constantly with how prices are constantly going up here in the Kenosha area. So focus on what you need in your daily life in your house. Do you need to be close to work, to the interstate? Do you need to be close to that school that your kids are going to? What do you need in your daily life? Don't just look at the price per square foot of the house, because that's always changing.
Also, another thing that you need to look at, do you like to walk? Do you like to commute? Better than over walking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm all about walking. But do you need that quiet? Do you need that community feel? You are going to have to answer a lot of tough questions, and that's what Chad and I are here for. If you have any simple, even complex questions, feel free to DM us or even text us at that number. We had a family who actually moved west for space. They missed the walkability of the lakefront because of the fact that they were upsizing. But unfortunately, their lifestyle was changing because their family is growing.
They had, what, 4 kids, I think? They were pregnant with their 4th kid, so they just needed the space. The houses that were closer to the lake just didn't have the space for them. They needed the bigger house. So they made the decision to move closer to the interstate and give up the lifestyle they really were accustomed to. They said, you know what? The lakefront isn't that far from where we're moving to. It's only a 10-minute drive.
15 minutes, yep.
So we'll just drive down to the lakefront and continue our lifestyle, and we'll make that sacrifice and
So if
do what's right for our family.
If you don't mind the drive, then I would suggest looking at the west of Green Bay Road. So living in Kenosha might sound really simple, but 2 blocks can actually change your lifestyle. Some buyers want the charm and the lake breezes, which is right now. Whew. Others want actually just fast and at the fast access to the eye, and then the space that they need access to because of the growing family. We've helped people make both moves and seen them regrets choosing the wrong one. So no regrets. So before you decide where to buy, let's figure out which Kenosha lifestyle is better fit for you and your family.
So if you're torn between Lake Life and Interstate Life, give us a call or shoot us a text at 262-331-1621 or grab one of our free guides down below in the description of this video. We're happy to help any way that we possibly can. We're Chad Aalia Scott, your local Kenosha Realtors here. We can't wait to see you on the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
That living in the same city can offer you 2 different lifestyles. Would you believe me? What do you think, Chad?
No, I don't believe you.
Oh my God.
You don't like it?
No. Not from you. What do you think?
By the harbor or by the lake?
Fine. Hold on. If I were to tell you living in 2 different parts of the city, if you prefer, I don't know where I'm going with that.